All right, we're set to go.
Okay, it is 5:34 p.m. on February 4th, Thursday. I'll call this a meeting of the Flint Historic District Commission to order. First item on the agenda is the roll call.
Commissioner Bernash,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley,
Here.
Commissioner Davis,
Here.
Commissioner Wright,
Here.
Commissioner Niswander, Commissioner Scapani.
Here.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is additions or changes to the agenda.
Madam Chair, this is Kelly Thompson. If I could make the announcement for the Open Meetings Act amendment, please.
Sure.
Okay. All boards and commissions must adhere to all laws established under the Michigan compiled laws and in accordance with the revisions of the Open Meetings Act adopted in Senate Bill 1108 as passed on October 13th, 2020 and signed into law on October 16th, 2020. A public announcement shall be made by each member who is attending the meeting remotely that he or she is in fact attending the meeting remotely and stating his or her physical location. So Bill, if you would please call the roll again for the member announcements.
Commissioner Bernash,
Here and from Flint, Genesee County.
are you attending remotely?
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley,
Hi, Mike Hurley here, attending remotely from Flint, Michigan.
Commissioner Davis,
From Flint.
are you attending remotely?
Attending remote.
Thank you. Commissioner Niswander, Commissioner Scapani,
I'm here. I'm attending remotely from Flint, Michigan.
thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Since there weren't any additions or changes, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
Yeah, I move that we adopt the agenda.
Okay,
I'll
is there
second
support?
that.
Perfect. We have
I
support. Any discussion?
No, I forgot to say that I'm attending remotely. This is Commissioner Wright from Flint, Michigan.
Oh, come on, Commissioner Wright.
See, I was so quiet. You guys are used to me being late. I was on time today.
Okay, so we have, we're at adoption of the agenda. We have a motion and support. Is there any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. Can we just have, I guess we don't need a roll call vote for this, so just all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, and the agenda is adopted. Minutes of previous meeting and disposal. Minutes for the January 7th meeting do not exist just yet, but they will. So I'm assuming we will adopt those at our next meeting unless anybody has a problem with that.
No.
Okay. So we will move on to the next item on the agenda, hearing from the public. This is the opportunity where anyone from the public can speak about anything that's not already on our agenda. So if you're here to speak about anything that's on the agenda, this is not the time to speak. So is there anybody that needs to say anything that is not on the agenda? And hearing nothing, we will move along to certificates of appropriateness notices to proceed. The first applicant listed is Patrick Schaefer regarding the property at 611 Lion Place. Is anyone here to present on that project?
I'm present.
Okay. Normally when we're in person, we're all around a table and, you might have samples of your materials, roofing, or, photos to pass around, or, drawings or schedule, drawings to pass around or whatever. But if you want to just kind of give us a narrative, like kind of
Sure.
explain what the project is, and then if we have any questions, we'll just shoot in some questions.
Commissioner
Excellent. Well,
Bill Vandercook, Commissioner Burness, the applicant can share a screen if he has that capability.
Okay.
If he wants to show any, plans or anything, pictures.
that I wasn't aware that I needed anything like that, so I wasn't prepared with any of those materials. But I can go over the overview for the roof and the plan. So current plan is to essentially replace the current shingles, which are just your basic shingle, but we were looking to do architectural shingles, which appear to be on all of the houses right here in the cul-de-sac. So that will match with the same style as the other houses. As far as the structure, nothing ornamental is going to change on it. Replace any fascia boards that need to be replaced. Really just tighten it up so we're not getting any water into the house is what it really needs. We're going to reshingle the main house, the porch on the front. There's a little bump out on the back, and then there's a really flat portion on the back. It's got a really low pitch, which we were looking at it. It looks like a good candidate to do the torch down material because it really doesn't have a pitch to run water off of it in an efficient manner. Right now it is shingled, which we could do. But if we can do torch down, that would really be better for that scenario. And then shingles on the roof as well of the garage to match the house.
When you say the new roofs are going to be architectural shingles, does that mean they're going to be different compared to what's on there now? Are they going to be a different shape or size or?
Well,
Hey,
right
Patrick.
now, yeah. Did someone have something?
I asked a question about the architectural. You said they're going to be
Okay,
architectural
gotcha. I
shingles.
gotcha. I thought there was another question added on there. Yeah, so currently it's just the rectangular shingles, like the really basic ones where they're not overlapping in any way.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And then I could be using the wrong word, but it's just the kind where it looks like they're just overlapping a little bit. So it doesn't look like a sheet that's just kind of laid out. So they
So a little
overlap.
bit more like three-dimensionality to it or something, or?
Yeah, they're called architectural shingles. So instead of just a flat sheet where it looks like they kind of just rolled them out, these are like the really cheap shingles that are on there right now. They're just like the next step up, I believe, they just look nicer. That's what's on the houses around here right now.
Do you have a company in mind? Have you gotten estimate?
Yeah, Bob Yenna Roofing. They're out of Oakland County.
Hey, Patrick, Mike Hurley here. So on the addition on the back, the flat portion or the
Yeah.
relatively flat portion, that's on the back of the house? Is that visible from the street or is it sort of in the backyard?
You can see if you're looking up Lion Street from like say the carriage factory, you can kind of see that back addition. You can just see the windows because there's a bedroom that was added to the back of the house with a closet and a little bathroom. And so that section is just like a really low slope. So you can kind of see the side, but you can't really see the roof itself. You can just kind of see like the outline of the building.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just really flat back there.
If
Like
that's
on
the case,
on the second floor, so from the back
You're
bedroom out
okay.
here, I was gonna say from that back bedroom, you can pretty much
Yeah.
just open that window and step out to it like it's almost a balcony. You know what I mean? It's just flat. You just walk right out on it.
Sure.
Are you guys doing
Yeah,
a full?
so I'm thinking that
Go ahead, continue.
what I was trying to say was, I think in that case, since it's not very visible from the street, other people obviously can weigh in, but my opinion would be, use the right material for that to prevent leaks. So,
Yeah.
if it was the front porch, right, we might have to have more of a discussion, but I think, since it's on the back of the house, you should probably use what you think is the best material to do the job.
Yeah, because we were looking at it, and he said it was less than what was it, like a foot drop? I mean, it was really, really a low run. So it's like with the torch down, he said that way, if there's any pooling, that's going to protect it in the best way. Just kind of like I've got another place on University and the roof is flat there on the very, very top. And then we did torch down on that because that's like completely flat. And that was watertight because before we did that, we had a nice waterfall going inside and that tightened everything right up.
So is this a complete tear off?
It's there's to be determined. I think once they rip it off, we're going to replace any boards that need to be. From the inside, it doesn't look like it needs to be a complete tear off.
Okay. And then you're not like removing any chimneys or filling in chimney holes or anything like that. It's
No.
Are you
Nope,
doing the
and then-
garage? Are you doing the garage also, or?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, because
Yep,
it looks
so-
like the garage does have a hole in it.
Right. Yeah. So we
So
want.
you're replacing that board.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Any hole that's there. I mean, that's the main thing is we want to get this tightened up and closed up. Definitely before the spring rains and then before all this snow melt happens.
Yeah, 'cause the one picture kind of looks like you're missing some of the, I can't think of what are those things called, support that are sticking out. It looks like half of them are missing on the one side of the garage.
On the garage, there's a few that do need to be replaced in the back where that hole is. Correct.
Yeah. Truss, that's what I'm thinking. That's the word.
Yes.
I'm like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah. The poor roof on this place has needed love for appears a while.
For Commissioner Nicewinder, who's just joining us, we are discussing applicant Patrick Schaefer, address 611 Lion Place, and we have not voted yet.
Okay, thanks. Sorry I'm late. I had to get out of another Zoom.
That's okay.
Hey, Patrick, so on the garage, it does look like you're gonna have to do some carpentry as well, right? There's soffits appear to be gone. If that's the case, I mean, you're gonna, is the other side of the garage intact? Do you have something to match to?
Yeah.
You know, as you do that
absolutely.
repair?
Absolutely. Yeah, we definitely have structure to go off of to return it back to that original structure.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I guess,
I just noticed you didn't list any of that wood replacement or any of that replacement on the thing.
I mean, honestly, our number one concern is going to be the house itself. The garage, if we have to wait to do that, we're totally cool with waiting. Our main concern, we just want that house closed up, stop water coming in. Because I can see on the second floor already where there was, just water had came in. So it's definitely want to close up some of those leaks.
I'm not opposed to amending,
Okay.
adding an amendment into the approval. I would just,
Okay.
if we're gonna replace boards, I would say, is that all right with you, Heather?
Yeah, that makes
That-
sense. I mean, if it's sort of a part of the roof project, if you're digging into the roof and you have to like replace those trusses or whatever, and any support beams or fascia boards, if anything needs to be replaced, I mean, I'd hate for you to have to get a stop, for a stop work order to be
Yes.
issued and you have to come before us again to ask for more permission. Like, you might as well just
Okay.
get the blanket permission for everything you need. So if you
Okay.
do it, you do it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm definitely game for an amendment for what will be most efficient to take care of the house.
Commissioner Bernash?
How about, is there anyone
Bernash?
that has a motion?
Commissioner Bernash, Bill Vandercook, just a point of order. Somebody dropped out. We're trying to figure out who dropped out of the call here.
Oh, okay.
Make sure all the commissioners are still here.
Wait, who was it? Hurley? No.
Kurt just added on.
Yeah, we had somebody.
Hurley.
Hurley
Really?
did. Commissioner Hurley.
Yeah.
He should join us in a minute here again.
Okay. So how about we discuss the language of how we're going to amend this? So when he gets back, we can just make our motion. So it'll be application as presented with the addition of any structural or support beams, fascia
under-
boards, trusses that need
under-
to
would
be
undermine.
replaced due to rot.
Yeah, 'cause I would expect, because what Bob told us is when they come in here, he's like, well, here's what we're looking at. But he's like, as we uncover it, he's like, we're likely going to find a board here or find something here that he will definitely ensure is taken care of. He won't go
Right.
without doing that and leaving us in good shape. So
And I think with Kurt here, we have quorum. Don't we only need
We
5?
do. I mean, I think 5 is enough. Maybe we could just go ahead and do it. If he joins us like back, he joins us.
All right, well, I'll make the motion to approve with the, as it stands with an addition of what we just talked about, if the trusses or any of the underlying wood need to be replaced, that he'd be able to do that if there's any rot there.
Right, replacing with like
We're basically,
Or like material.
yeah,
the same scale and scope, size, dimensions.
correct.
Perfect. Okay, is there support?
I'll support.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Bernash,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley, Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Niswander,
Yes.
Commissioner Scapani.
Yes,
And motion carries. Normally at our meeting, we would
On
sign the certificate and hand it right to you, but obviously we're not there, so I'll have to
Point of
come
order.
in to City Hall at some point.
point of
Sign
order,
them.
Commissioner Bernash, point of order.
Yes,
Commissioner Hurley stepped back into the meeting when we were doing the vote.
okay,
Can we include him in the vote? Commissioner Hurley?
yes.
Yeah.
And actually, maybe we should tell him what exactly the motion was, so he knows what he's voting on. It was to approve the application as presented with the amendment of being able to replace any wood that is rotted, including trusses, fascia boards, all to be replaced only by necessity and with similar scope and scale and size and all that.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with when I dropped off. So, yep,
Perfect.
I would vote yes to that.
Thank you.
And so it's unanimous. And normally I would sign the certificate and hand it right to you, but we're not all together. So I'll have to
Okay.
go to City Hall at some point in the next few days and sign it. And then Bill should call you when it's ready to be picked up.
Okay, perfect. And then going forward, once we have the crew doing the roof, is there another process just to let you guys know? Or from here on, we just do the job and get it done?
Once you have our certificate of appropriateness, you can do everything that it says you can do and that's written out on the application, nothing more.
Right, just that
And if-
particular job that we discussed.
Yeah, and it's good for up to a year. So
Perfect.
if it goes beyond a year, you have to come back to us. If you want to do more different things, rebuild the porch or rebuild the driveway or put up a fence or something, you got to come back to us.
Okay,
Commissioner
yeah, no
Bernash,
problem.
point of order, Commissioner Bassett, if you don't mind, the certificate, we need to give that to the building department. And that allows the building department to review, to issue building permits. It doesn't give him a right to begin building without going to BSNI with that document and,
Right.
and applying for the building permits that he needs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Understood.
Anything that's required for any other department still stands, but as far as just what he needs from us is the certificate of appropriateness, and then that should unlock the magical gates where then BSI will give you the building permit.
Excellent, thank you.
And Patrick, Bill Vandercook, I'll get with you with the certificate as soon as we have it signed, okay?
We lost-
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
we
Thank
lost
you.
Right.
Okay. Uh,
We lost right.
Commissioner Bernash, point of order. We lost Commissioner Wright from the
Oh,
meeting
okay.
now, just so they know.
Everybody's dropping off tonight. Okay. I'm assuming she will call
As
back
long
in.
as it's still 5 every time.
Okay, so moving on to the next project. Applicant is Cade Surface. The address is 417 Mason Street. Is there anyone here to present on that project?
Yep, I can speak on that.
Okay,
Okay, so my understanding is that you have all the materials that I submitted.
we have the application, a proposal, a written proposal, and then a few pages of pictures and
Okay.
samples.
Cool, okay. Yeah, so 417 is a house my family purchased, I think in 2012. We always knew we were gonna have to replace the shingles on the roof kind of in the relatively near future, but our insurance company let us know that we needed to do that sooner than later. So we went to our roofing guy who has experience replacing roofs, specifically replacing shingles within Carriage Town, within the historic district. He selected a shingle product, dimensional shingles from this company that he stated you guys had approved before and had usually worked well within the confines of the historic district codes. And so, yeah, it's our hope that we can just replace the aged shingles, roof shingles on the main roof and the porch roof with the shingles that I included the photo of, the sample of. I do apologize for not having a better photo of the actual house. My phone camera isn't is in pretty rough shape. So hopefully that's good enough to kind of show you what the current conditions are. What else can I say? There's no plans to remove any architectural elements or do anything, nothing, we're not removing or modifying the chimney or any of the siding or anything else, just simply replacing the roof shingles and any of the kind of associated parts that go along with that.
Looks good. Does anybody have any questions, discussion?
No.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll move that we accept the application as presented.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion with support. Can we have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Bernash,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurley,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yeah.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Niswander,
Yes.
Commissioner Scavani.
Yes.
Okay, approved unanimously. And same thing, I'll sign it at City Hall in the next day or two whenever it's ready for me to sign. And as soon as it is, Bill can give you a call and let you know.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, or Kate, I'll deliver it.
Oh yeah, if you want to come and see me, feel free. I'll have my dad come by the building department and figure out the rest. I appreciate your help.
Thank you.
All right, bye guys.
Okay, I'm done with that section of the agenda. Next up is old business, Capitol Theater signage.
Hi, Madam Chair, this is Kelly Thompson. Mike Ryder issued, as of last week, 3 violations to the various tenants at the Capitol Theater. So I don't have all the names in front of me, but it's the 3 that we've talked about many times before, not including Article 1, the eyeglasses shop, because they came before us before.
Correct. There's some sort of boutique, and then there's Bedrock, and then there's Eberson.
Eberson, yes, thank you. Yes, those 3. So those were filed in district court just this past Monday. And as far as I know, they haven't set a hearing date for them yet. I think the date on the citations was actually in March,
Okay.
but he did issue those last week.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I just need a moment. I think
No.
in my 10-year history of being on this commission, that's the first time I've ever heard those words, that a ticket was issued to anybody.
Right,
our
right. And Mike he tried to reach out to the different people in administration for Uptown and just got the runaround.
Nowhere. Well, that's,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So, without getting into the weeds, so, I'm working on some projects with Joe Martin, who is, employee of Mott Foundation, but, also kind of engaged with Uptown.
Mhm.
So he actually called me when we were, talking about a project, and then he called me about the citations. So, he mentioned, so basically he had a question. He got word that these citations were issued.
Mhm.
And I did mention to him, from our past work on the HDC that, initial attempts to communicate with,
Right.
either the landlord's department and all the stuff that we've dealt with so far. But he said that, so he himself is not necessarily the point person for Uptown. He said, I don't remember now if he gave a name, but there's a Friends of the Capitol Theater sort of entity that is the landlord for the building. And so he gave me their address, which is in the Mott Foundation, unit number 1500 or something like that. But I guess his question was, do these citations actually, and I can't remember myself, result in a actual fine, or is it just to get back
Yeah.
to square?
Right. So the initial contacts we've had were an attempt to resolve it before the citation. And Joe Martin was one of the individuals. I don't know if Mike talked to him, Mike Ryder, who's our building inspector and code enforcement officer. He's mentioned Joe Martin's name to me specifically. I don't know if that was in the context of, yes, he spoke with him, or if that's the person he was attempting to reach. And there's a female employee who's been kind of in the middle and catching everything, getting most of the correspondence we've sent to them and seemingly not getting it to the tenants. But I know that Joe was a part of the discussion with Mike Ryder. So, and the attempts to reach them was the attempt to resolve it without a full citation. So now that the citations are issued, it's a municipal civil infraction, which does come with fines if we aren't able to resolve it. So once, now that it's in the court proceedings, I'll have an opportunity to meet with the tenants. And what our procedure when we have a municipal civil infraction, they still have an opportunity to resolve it. So in my initial conference, what I'll be saying is, hey, if you come for an application, if you apply for a certificate of appropriateness with the HDC, then all of this will go away, because that's really all we want to happen. So, but it's kind of the carrot and the stick, the stick is that there will be fines if they don't. And then for each successive violation, there's another fine on top of it. And the fines increase with each violation. And each day that they don't apply for the signage is a separate violation. So we're not going to get started, every day issuing more citations now, but that's a possibility.
Yeah. I'm trying not to get in the middle of it, but it is, I still don't really understand how, people, we've put out what do you call it? We've asked for action, and now the ticket, has, so either, I don't know who to believe, and I'm not trained to be in the middle, but it's like,
well, yeah,
now finally, but.
And I'm happy to speak to anyone, including Mr. Martin. So Commissioner Nicemunder, if you want to give them my contact information, if we were in person, I'd give you a stack of my business cards. But I'm happy to field any questions like that. I certainly don't want you to be in the middle. I think that with the attempts to reach them, I mean, when did we send out the first certified letter? That was more than a year ago, I think.
Yeah, this whole process has been going on for 2 years, and we've sent 2
Yeah.
certified letters, and I've reached out personally to most of them. We've sent them the applications. All you have to do is fill it
Right.
out and send it back to us to get on the agenda. You don't even have to come to the meeting. And they've just fallen on deaf ears. It's too bad that it had to get to this, that it, we had to force their hand.
Right. So absolutely, Commissioner Nicewinder and any other commissioners, if you're getting questions about this, please feel free to direct them to me.
Sure. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate it, your work on that.
I'm sorry it's taken so long. We tried
There's a
to
process.
give them a chance to fix it, but here
Yeah.
we are.
Okay. Next on the agenda is Saginaw Street bricks, which we talked about a little bit last meeting. Sounds like there's a plan, and at some point they're gonna come before us to seek a certificate of appropriateness. Is there anything else from anyone?
This is Kelly Thompson. I don't have anything to add to that. If we want to keep this as a standing item on the agenda, we absolutely can. But I think as long as they answered the questions that you guys had and the questions
Yeah.
that we can get answers to at this stage.
And it sounds like, I mean, that's all we really wanted, I think, was somebody who's has any kind of plan or discussion to tear the bricks out. We need them to come talk to us. And they did last time, and we explained to them what our authority was and why they needed to come before us. So I think they understand, that part of that step of the process can't be skipped in their project. And they
Right.
said they would be coming before they did the work. So I will leave them at their word. I expect
And
to see
I
an
will
application,
keep an eye on it and make sure that happens.
so I don't end up being a crazy person in the middle of Saginaw Street yelling at a bulldozer that's
Chaining yourself to the
tearing
bricks.
bricks out because there was never an application. Yeah. So hopefully they'll come before us. I know they said they were going to do it sooner rather than later. So I don't see why it would need to continue to stay on the old business agenda then, since we kind of touched base and that was all our hope was. Next on the old business agenda is updating historical documents.
I think this is Kelly Thompson again. I think we've covered this in detail previously. We've been busy with the marijuana and zoning ordinances that we're trying to move through council. So I think Bill and I, that's on our to-do list. Once we get those ordinances adopted, then we can turn to updating the historic district ordinances, updating the resource list, and checking off or omitting some that have been demolished since it was
Sure.
last updated.
Perfect. I would love to have an updated binder and then just procedurally, I'm not sure what we do, like how do we update the resource? Does that require like a vote from us to dissolve a district, like say like Manning Court? I know everything's been torn down except for one house or two, like, so should the boundaries be changed or should the whole
Right.
district be dissolved or, and does that require discussion and motions and debate or? 'Cause I don't think
So
we can just amend the districts unilaterally.
Right. So the meets and bounds, the legal description of the historic district areas will need to be updated through the ordinance. So Bill and I will work on drafting that ordinance. Then the process would be, we present it to the commission, you guys review it, make any changes, and then eventually adopt it. And then it would be proposed to city council for adoption.
Approval. Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. So we're working on that. Next item on our agenda is historic preservation trainings, conferences. I spoke with Michigan Historic Preservation Network and the free training, the money that they have for us to give us a free training. They said, too bad there's a pandemic because they would have fed us too if it was in person, but I guess we don't get that. So what they suggested, what they're available for is our March meeting next month. So hopefully, because we haven't had a ton of applications, just I think because of the pandemic and whatnot. Not a lot of work being done in wintertime too. So hopefully there won't be a ton of stuff to vote on, and then we could just have the training at our next meeting next month. Just maybe plan on an hour of learning some good stuff from an expert.
I do have,
Go ahead.
I have some, I was gonna say, if we're done with that, I have something to add.
I have a Zoom meeting coming up with them like in a couple of weeks to flesh out the details of exactly what
Are non-commissioners able to attend? Like, could I stay on the call and attend the training?
I believe so.
As long as it doesn't cost anything, I would like to attend.
Definitely. And it's, I mean, the heck, Open Meetings Act, we're open to the public, so I think anybody can come.
Right. Cool.
So do we need to decide on a date, like a proposed day today of when we would like to meet? So then they could say if they are able, or are they just going to provide you maybe some training dates and then we determine it from there?
They told me our March meeting date.
Okay.
That's when they would come. So if that works, since we're all already, it's on our calendar and we're here anyways, hopefully we don't have anything to vote on, and then our meeting can just be the training. We can just do it and get it done instead of trying to find another time of the month when that works for all of us.
Okay. Gotcha. No. Agree.
That sounds good, yeah.
Okay.
So looking at my calendar, that would be March 4th,
Yes.
Thursday, March 4th.
Yep.
Great.
Perfect. Okay. If that's okay with everybody, I'll give them the go ahead on that. And the next item on the agenda is new business.
On old business,
Oh, sure.
we talked about that fence in that driveway last time.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
couldn't remember the address.
Okay.
The address is 401 West 2nd Avenue, even though the driveway is on Mason. I remember because the driveway actually is Kate's, I didn't know Kate owned that house. And it's the one he approved for the roof. And so the driveway backs up to his driveway to that house.
Okay.
That's what I'm like, wait a minute, I know that house. How do I know that? So then I
Yeah.
looked it up. So the address is 401 West 2nd Avenue.
Okay. And so if it's not his house, if he didn't put the fence up, then it must be the vacant lot owner
Yeah,
that put the fence up to
correct,
stop his residents or tenants from
correct.
using their side of the driveway. Okay.
But the fence wasn't approved and like I said, it looked like,
And it
Something
wouldn't have been
to-
approved, I don't think, without
No,
speaking out of turn.
Right.
It doesn't look appropriate for a historic district.
yeah, it looks like a barnyard fence.
Yes, it looks very rural, like it belongs on a farm,
Right.
not in a residential neighborhood.
This is Kelly Thompson. I'll get with the building department to see if they had any permit applications for that fence. But like you said, I think they would have instructed them to come before the HDC before they issued any permits. So
Right.
I'll just notify BSI. They might file a complaint regarding that and pursue some potential enforcement action.
That would be fantastic. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited.
Maybe we'll get another one right away.
Right?
That's all I have.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Commissioner Scafani.
Commissioner,
If there's no
Nash.
other old business, then moving on to new business.
yeah, Commissioner Van Ash, about the old business, Bill Vandercook,
Yeah.
we can issue a zoning violation if we find out that he's in violation of the fence ordinance. And then Mike will take over potentially if we need to issue a certificate, violation certificate, so.
Okay.
um,
Perfect. Great. Love it. Love the solutions. Thank you.
So new business, if you don't mind, I'd like to introduce Jeff Shipman. Shipman, he's a new lead planner for the city, planner 3, and he's up here. Jeff, you tell them more about yourself. So thank you. I think you're on mute, Jeff.
I know. Always happens.
Sorry.
You get them every time.
It's nice to meet everybody. I'll give you a little bit of background on me. So I'm new to Michigan, new to Flint. We moved here in September, relocated for my wife's job, and I've been with the city since the middle of November. Came from Cleveland. My background is in community development. I worked in land banks in Ohio, and then I also have about a decade's worth of experience with land conservancies. So a little bit of all vacant land and reutilization, but for different purposes. But I'm excited to be here and hopefully when the pandemic's over, meet everybody in person and get to know the city a little bit better. I've driven around a little bit and walked downtown a little bit when it was warmer, but still trying to get a feel for everything.
Nice to
Welcome.
meet you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Good to have you.
We got Commissioner Bernash. Jeff has a history in law, and his wife is an attorney.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, we met in law school. So.
Exciting. Okay. Any other new business? And hearing none, I think we are at the end of our agenda. Would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, support?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion is adjourned, or meeting is adjourned. Motion is approved.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Take care.
Good night.
Stay warm.